And we're live. Hey, everyone. Hope you guys are having an awesome Friday. Welcome to Agents Who Win, my show with my cohort, Melissa Cruz. I appreciate you jumping on today. Just wanted to talk, I want to bring value back to the audience about coaching and different things that are going on in the industry. We've been talking with some coaching, not transactional, but I guess you'd call it transactional coaching. How to get people rolling forward that are not producing right now, and you're helping our team with that, like just individual. And wanted to talk about how to find the right coach and the right program as well, because it takes some digging to find that right person or that right program that's out there, and who's going to help push the people forward.
Right. Yeah, it's productivity coaching, really.
Yeah, productivity. That's what I was trying to remember. So I appreciate you jumping on today, everyone. Melissa Cruz, she coaches for the Locker Room. Awesome program. There's a whole in-depth library of product there. Just tools and resources that you can use to run your teams, run your team meetings. They've got a 12-week track program, which we've got our entire team going through. And, everyone's embracing that right now, which is awesome. I mean, we got off our first call, and I'm getting messages. My God, Melissa was great. This is awesome. My people loved it. Now it's like getting them to start doing the homework. And, and I love the accountability part of it, because here's a recording and go do it. Well, you'll look at them 3 weeks later. Oh, I haven't listened to it yet. So it's getting the weekly, accountability and almost third party doing it, because, it's nice when there's someone else that's actually pushing it versus the team leader.
Right. Well, and people don't want to let somebody else down, let alone themselves. I mean, they'll let themselves down first before somebody else, Yep. I think that's what helps the accountability part is they don't want to let me down.
Correct. So how did you get involved in coaching in general?
I had a coach.
Okay.
With the Locker Room. So I was introduced that way, and absolutely helped my productivity, with my own business. And realized that I was meant to be a coach, and kind of digging deep into that. I've kind of always done it at any job I've been at my entire life. It's just what I've always gravitated to. So it just kind of made sense when that aha moment happened, and then it was just an easy transition over.
So let's talk about you getting into coaching and then doing this. How does one go from being coached to being a coach? Like, what is entailed behind it?
Well, I mean, I still sell.
Okay.
So I'm not coaching, I still do both.
Which is, I want to say, the best thing, because you get a lot of coaches out there who are done selling and they're trying to coach you on what's going on in the market today.
Right.
And they have no clue.
That's exactly why I still sell.
Yes.
Because I want to make sure that I'm staying on top of the market. There's people that, sold real estate 20 plus years ago that are trying to coach agents today. And it's like, you just have no idea. The market changes all the time, so being, selling real estate and coaching definitely helps, because I get to stay on top of everything that's going on, the new programs, softwares, and all the, all that kind of stuff. So
awesome.
But the transition, I mean, I think, it was just something I was always meant to do. And I loved that. I love the accountability that I had from being coached, and the growth from that. I want to help somebody else experience that, because it wasn't just my business grew. I grew as a human being, and I think that's what the whole coaching thing is about, especially with the Locker Room. Yes, we have tools and things to help you with your business, but we coach you as a whole person.
Right.
And because if you're lacking in your personal life or your business, it's going to bleed to the other side, so you really at the same time have to grow both sides.
Right. And you have to, because I'm always like, get me into the nuts and bolts of what's going on and how to do it versus, find your why and find this and find that. And, I hear from different people, like other coaches, like, we've got to dig the why first, and then we can find out why you want to sell 25 houses a month or a year or whatever. And, I'm going through Track Plus right now. I'm filling out my why, and, I'm getting ready to write my letters. So I'm behind on the class as well. I'm catching up this weekend. But it's, so I'm holding myself accountable, that I will have it caught up for Monday or for our next call.
Yeah.
But it's like diving in, and, I think just I'm always the one, let me just fast forward past the first 6 weeks. Let's get down to like, how do I call versus why should I call? So I love that you guys do both.
And that's why the program is set up the way it is. I mean, track is broken down into 3 sections, and you don't really dive into learning how to work with your customers, like with listings and buyers, until the second segment. The first part is really building you up as a person and really, just trying to show you to be who you are, teach you to figure out what that why is and make it, deep. So that when you start learning how to work with your customers and you have days where deals blow up and you don't forget the beginning part of why, you really want to set the fundamentals of your business up first, because that'll help you like through all of the roller coasters, that people see in real estate,
Right. No, exactly. And there's a ton of them out there. So it's, and it's right now we're going through school. So it's like, the market's slowing down a little bit. It's going to pick back up, but it's just part of the roller coaster. And having 2 deals this morning, cancel for 30-day lates or inspections. It's like, Happy Friday.
Yeah. And the program is designed to help you not have those roller coasters,
Right.
There's so many agents that get into the business in their first couple of years. They can have like 4 or 5 months straight without having a closing, without having a commission. The whole point is to help you. Will you have a month or 2 without having closings? Does that happen? Yes. I'm not going to say that that's not possible, but it's really designed to help you focus on relationships. That way you have a steady, streamlined business going, and you're not going like this, as you're working your deals and stuff.
So you're part of the program that we're going on is the 5 for 25, having 5 conversations a day, 5 days a week, which gives you 25 contacts. And if you can convert that to 2% conversion, you're going to sell 2 houses a month, and you might sell 4 in one month and 0 in another. And we're going to sell 200 homes this year in our team, and we've had months where we've only had 5 sales on a team of 10, but then the next month there's 25. So it doesn't matter who you are, it happens. It's going to. It's just the way the market cycles, or the business cycles.
Yeah.
So how do you, when someone's looking for a coach, how do they find the locker room, or how do they find the right person? I mean, do you guys do an analysis of what they need, or what type of analysis should they do on themselves to find out what type of coaching they need?
I think they need to ask themselves, are they really committed to having a coach? Because it does come at a cost, and sometimes agents, they'll want a coach, but they don't want to dish out the money for the coach, but dishing out the money for it is really going to propel them to have a successful business. So I think they need to take a minute and just think about what it is that they're looking for, and have very specific, clear goals on what they need help with, and if you need, because you could want to have more, you may not want a productivity coach. You could want something else, so you just need to be very clear on what it is you're looking for. And I mean, interview people, and just kind of see who's going to be the right fit. I see people ask all the time in various real estate groups, who's the best coach, or I want to get into coaching. Who should I, reach out to? All the coaches do offer, kind of like a needs analysis. You can get that kind of, one-on-one to kind of just talk to see if it's going to be a good fit and what you're looking for. Because somebody could want a coach, but but after having that initial conversation, it could just be not the right time for that person. Like your mindset has to be ready to want to be coached, and I think that's what people need to really understand and realize first, if they're ready to make that commitment to themselves and to somebody else.
Yeah, and I think for us, it's having the productivity coach, is helping the team with production, where, I've had coaches for the last 15 years. And my first coach I hired was Brian Buffini back in 2005 or 6. And then the market shifted, and I ended up getting out of it because I'm trying to save every little dollar I could. And it was only $500 a month, I think, that we were paying. But now I'm getting into coaching that's thousands of dollars a month, because you look at where your business is. And for me, it's, as a team leader, we need the business coach. For the team, we need the production coach. For, we might need a coach or something different. And so you find the product, I don't want to call it the product, but you find the system you need and make sure it's going to work with what you want. Because the business coach may not be good for the individual agent. That's going to be good for the business leader who's running this as a true business with assistants and payrolls and rents and people you're 10, 12, 15 agents are responsible for.
Right.
And so with the locker, let's just use the locker room as an example. What now do you said you have a needs analysis in there for someone if they're looking at coaching, what they would find, or what are some of the needs that they would look at to decide whether like what type of coaching that they're using or looking for?
Every coach is different, so you can book a one-on-one session, depending. So the locker room has different regions, so depending where you live, we can partner you up with the right, national director, who can then get some information and then maybe find the right coach that could match to have that initial conversation. So it's
Okay.
varied with each coach, but we are broken down into different regions. So it would just be a matter of finding who's, just partnering up that person with the right people in the right area.
That's good because you're. I know we work with Ruben. He's in East Coast. You're in East Coast. We're not dealing with obviously the time zone differences, and I'm not dealing with someone who's out there selling multi-million-dollar properties in California.
Right.
Someone who's here, average price range for all of us is around $300,000.
Yeah.
So we're not and so that helps.
Mm-hmm.
Now, do they offer different tier levels? I guess with that as well, because I know like Club Wealth, for example, has tier 1's 20, 0 to 25 homes. Tier 2 is 25 to 50, 50 to 100, and 100 plus. Do you guys have coaches that are hitting those different levels that would help someone who's at 100 homes a year get to 200 or get to 300 homes a year, or how is that set up?
Yeah, the coaches really help anybody, whether you're selling below. There's not necessarily a tier where they say,
Okay.
oh, if you're selling under 50, I can't coach you.
Right.
They sell and help people all across the board. It's really, for us, it's about collaboration and partnership. So it's where we try to meet you wherever you are to help you get to the goal you're trying to reach, no matter if you're selling 0 houses or 100. If you want to sell 200, they can help you. If you're selling 0, we'll help you get to to the number you want to get to. So.
Get to where you are. Gotcha.
Yeah,
Okay,
we'll try to meet you where you are, and then figure out how we can help you.
What is some of the success stories you guys have had with people coming out of coaching itself? Let's say the track program, for example, the 0 to 12 weeks. What's some of the success stories that people will have if they do the entire book and go through it?
People learned how to get comfortable with the uncomfortable.
Okay.
And by the time they get done track, they are so much more comfortable having conversations. They're not secret agents, they tell people that they're agents. They're much more confident. They know what they're talking about, the knowledge that they get from it. So it's just all around. They just feel and carry themselves as a real estate expert.
Gotcha. Okay. No, it's good. I mean, if you can step out of your comfort zone, that's obviously gonna be the biggest thing. For me, it's like getting on Facebook Live constantly and pushing stuff, and not fumbling, but it's Facebook Live. So it's like having a conversation. You're going to fumble,
right?
Versus doing some commercial stuff that we do, and it's all scripted. And when you fumble in a script, well, you start over, and no one knows because it's not. You call the bloopers.
Yeah, I think that, and I want people to realize, as you're going through track, because new agents don't realize you really have to track what you're doing. The time you're spending on different things, the money you're spending. The people that you're talking to, that's a really big part of track, which is why I make people track their numbers each week, because I know that there's a section in the workbook for them to go ahead and do that.
Yeah.
So I like to one-up that and challenge them to send me the numbers. I want to see, I want your leaders to see, because we're all rooting for them. We're all cheering for them. And we want to make sure, somebody may have a bad week and that's okay, but we're all here together to help, help everybody rise. So that's why I think, because if you don't know how many people you're talking to, you're not going to know how many people you need to talk to before you got to that yes. Like the conversions, it's a math. It's a system,
Yeah, I think it's like whether your referrals are for sale by owner or, expireds, it is all a numbers game because you got to go look at, I've got to host so many parties to get so many referrals out of the parties, whether if I'm doing referrals, if I am calling FSBOs, I know I'm going to talk to 100 people or call 100 people today to get 10 people on the phone, and 9 of them are going to hang up on me. One's going to have a conversation and get the appointment. So, there's different ways to track the numbers on each one, but, just like yourself, 525 will get you 2 deals a month. And if you can get to that point, then you're going to be making, I think your numbers broken down like $100 and something thousand a year, which is really good.
Yeah.
And then, let's take it to the next level. Let's get to 3. Let's get to 4.
Right. And as you, and I want people, as they're having these conversations, you get better. Your conversion becomes higher, which is why you need to know your numbers so that you can track to see how many people you need to talk to now to get a deal. You know what I mean? So the tracking is a huge deal.
Yeah. No, it is. And, for me, as 20 years in the business, I had somebody who recently said, well, I'm 3 years in the business. I don't need to take the script class. I'm like, but you sold like 8 houses. So I think you should take the script class because it's going to help. I'm looking forward to the scripting class because one, I can help people with it too. I mean, every language is different, as far as the scripts we're going to use and how we're going to talk to people. So I'm looking forward to getting to week 3. I'm like, can I fast forward to week 3? I know some of the recordings are there, but I'm like, I want to just skip week 1 and 2 and forget mindset and go right to that second or third week when it gets to the scripting and conversations. Because it'll be good because I'm looking forward to that because I want to understand the conversations. And
that's what it is. People get so nervous about scripts, but it's really a conversation. And the scripts are a guide to help you get through just the verbiage and just getting through the conversation. Because as you practice and you actually start using these on your customers, you're going to sound genuine. You're going to have your own genuine conversation. You're not going to sound like a robot. It's really just having a conversation and learning how to overcome objections that you're going to get.
Right.
And not fumble and stumble in front of the customer. It's helping you build that confidence that you know what you're talking about and you know your worth and your value.
Well, that's the best part because you do take the script and make it your own, and that's why I'm like, all right, let me read these because we downloaded the script book. We're driving to Hilton Head this afternoon, so I'm going to be reading that while we're on the road, and I want to understand the combos there because it's all a matter of how you say hi. I mean, I know it says hello, my name is Todd. Well, it's like, hey, it's Todd. So you switch the words around a little bit.
Right.
It's all gonna get across the same way.
Yes.
With that section. So, what are some other things that we've got in the background that the locker room has going on that people can take advantage of?
Well, you guys know about the calls on Tuesdays, the breakout breakthrough.
Yes. So those are awesome. The Profit Sense was awesome. I think 2 weeks ago that she did.
Yes, and we'll talk about that a little bit more too. Not a little bit more, but we'll kind of talk about that again when we get to week 9.
Okay, cool.
You'll learn how to run your business like a business. So we will definitely bring that up and talk about it. Because that's another piece that as a new agent, you just don't know, unless somebody tells you, hey, look out for these things, or hey, save some of your money. They don't know that they have to pay tax at the end of the year. They're just like, wow, I had this big commission. I'm going to celebrate and go and then spend it all, So we will definitely talk about that again.
Yeah. Well, that's a lot of them. Even on a team, I'm impressed that a lot of my team members all are asking about incorporating because they all got their license. Now we can all go get our corporation set up, and so they can learn to run it like a business. And one of my team members was like, I'm doing it the right way. I'm putting 30% in the personal account, 30% in savings, 30% leaving 30% in my business. Even though he's on a team, he's got no expenses. He's treating it like a business. Right. And it's the best way to do it because if you ever decide to leave the team and work alongside us, you're already prepared. And, the corporation stuff, I think, is great because it does prepare them for taxes and other stuff.
It is. Because, eventually, once you get that set up, you're paying yourself as an employee. So it's building that habit right now so that when you do that, you're not in shock like, oh, I can only keep half my money now,
Yeah.
And then you're like, what am I supposed to do now with this? You're learning how to pay yourself a salary, and live off of that, not your entire, because it's not entirely yours.
Well, that was a lesson I learned a long time ago when I first got in the business. Just because I made 10 grand doesn't mean I have 10. I only have 3.
Right.
Put 7 aside because the government wants it. Not that I'm going to pay them, 70 cents
a dollar.
Like
commission, when you're at a listing appointment, I'm charging you this much commission, but I'm really only making this at the end of the day. So
look at your paycheck. You make 100 grand a year, but at the end of the day, you're only making 60 because they're taking it. So you think you make all this money, and it's not that. That's what it is. So that's funny. But I'm glad the ones who do learn how to run it like a business, because it does help them achieve further success and really budget. Because if they can start early with it, I've got a lot of my teams in their 20s, and so if they can start at this age preparing that way, it's going to make a huge difference. So I'm looking forward to that when we get to that section.
Yes, absolutely.
So what are I'm just trying to dig a little deeper into the locker room and the back ends, and I'm playing in it all the time with just pulling stuff out for team meetings. Somebody was looking for school drive stuff. Actually, we have a backpack thing. You should check this out.
There is so much resources and tools. We will probably be here all day kind of going over all of it. There really is and I love, that we have all of that to offer because it's a big group of people, that share and come up with ideas and say, hey, this has worked for me. may not be something we have. It looks, when we all get to incorporate what we that works for us so that we can have that available to everybody. The one thing that I used to hate when I first started in real estate was there were so many agents that were like, oh, I can't share what I'm doing. This is just for me. And I'm like, well, there's really no secrets in the business. It makes it harder for a new agent to get started when you don't want to kind of share what you have, I don't know. It used to always drive me crazy. So I love that everything, it's for everybody. And
we've got, when I was at Remax, I was always the not number one or number two agent there. And, I would open my playbook to anybody who wanted it, but nobody wanted to. And I'm like, I'm selling, 80 to 120 homes a year, and you guys are selling 10 to 30 a year. So let me show you what's going on. Or, some are doing a lot better than that. But it's like just to help bring you up to the next level and like give you, this is my postcard that works. This is what's getting my phone to ring. And they're like, why are you doing that? I'm like, number one, you're not in my market. You're in a different neighborhood. If you're in my neighborhood, we'll probably share too, because guess what? You're probably not going to do it. Because it takes a while to get a plan developed and get it pushed out. And, I learned everything. I want to talk to everyone. I want to engage in every system that's out there. May not do it, but I think it's a cool idea because I may be able to talk to someone else about it and have some knowledge to share.
Yeah. And the great thing is that I spent probably the first 2 years making buyer packets, redoing them, listing presentation stuff, and then redoing them when I should be out there talking to customers, and actually getting the business. I was like, I would spend so much time, these resources are available to you. They work. People, you have used them for years, so just take it, roll with it, and you've got it. So you're not spending time doing admin work when you should be doing lead generating, dollar producing activities. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's just, I love it. Yeah.
One of my team members is a new agent to the team, and he's also a brand new agent, and he's diving in. He wants to get into buyer consultations, and that's not something I really get involved in, or buyer agency agreements, because I'm like, if you like us, you're going to keep working with us. If you don't, you're going to move on. Because my opinion of buyer agency agreements is that it's so easy to get out of them, unlike a listing agreement, because we actually have a physical property tied to it. That I'm not going to sit there and fight somebody. But he's like, I had him watch a buyer agent mastery course, and they talked about buyer agency. I'm like, develop this habit now instead of trying to redevelop it in 5 years. Mm-hmm. And so we put together a buyer agent presentation for him. And now he's like, and we went over the buyer agency agreement. And so now he understands. He wants to sit down and actually dive into buyers. And most agents coming in are like, wait, hey, I want to get into listings. I'm like, they're hard to get first.
Yeah.
But like, I love that he's like, I want buyers. I'm not ready. I want buyers.
Yeah.
And so we're working on the skills to get to the buyers that are, to help him further him along. But he's unfortunately spending too much time studying and not getting out on the streets, because the number one way you're going to learn is getting out on the streets and actually connecting with people.
Right.
Fail forward.
Yes, absolutely. And that's where the whole scripts and role play come in. Practice with your family, practice with other realtors, so that when you go out there, it's a great conversation to have at a consultation appointment. You're not trying to make the things up as you go. Have your presentation ready and go through the whole thing.
Yeah.
Keep practicing, so it just comes out natural and genuine with your customers.
I would love to have I want to say gumption to do that, because I am more scared, I think, to present in front of my family than I am my friends. They're going to be, I think, more critical, and I'm going to look at their facial expressions.
Yeah.
If you could do that, you're going to be perfect in front of a stranger.
Absolutely. I mean, once you get started, if you're authentically yourself, and you don't pretend like you know everything, because you may get a question that you're like, you know what, I've never got that question before, but I will find the answer, and I appreciate you asking me, because now I'll know. Yeah. You just be yourself and just have a conversation, ask questions. In the resources you guys have, there's tons of needs analysis and things for as far as a buyer's consultation for him that he could use that's ready to go, and he can just practice what those questions are, read them, and just have the same packet. Once you have your one system together, it's rinse and repeat for everybody else, so you're not spending too much time trying to build that system. We already have it for you. Just practice it, and then go do it to people, not do, well, do it with your customers.
Yeah, do it with the customers. Because like I sat down with him and went over to 𝗤𝗙𝗵𝗵, ALM, and then we found another one, Spin. And it's like for older clients that are trying to revive. And I'm like, you can use 1, 2, or 3, or put them all together and come up with a happy medium. And it's not that you gotta follow 𝗤𝗙𝗵𝗵 exactly on script. You can
Right.
do L at the end. Sometimes you don't worry about location because you just want to get in front of the person. Sometimes you don't worry about motivation because you want to get in front of them, because sometimes the conversations are easier face to face than they are, over the phone.
Absolutely.
So, and you can gauge the conversation. I would think through like facial expressions and body tone and other stuff.
Right. Exactly. Then you have to learn how to pivot.
Yeah, exactly. So, as we're wrapping up, what's if anyone's looking to refer over to you, what's your market that you cover?
I am in Northeast Florida, so
Okay.
Palm Coast, St. Augustine. As far as coaching, I don't work Jacksonville as a realtor.
Okay.
I don't know that market, but I do work St. Augustine, Palm Coast, surrounding areas, the little towns in between, that kind of stuff.
So was it Flagler and what's Palm Coast?
Palm
Okay.
Coast is Flagler, yeah, and then
Okay.
St. John's County. Yep.
Cool. And do you run a team up there, or is it just yourself?
Just me. I am a mentor, so I mentor agents too.
Okay, cool, awesome. Well, we got new agents coming up that way. We can put you in touch, because I've got a couple agents that are up in that end of town.
Yeah.
That are getting their license, so we'll definitely do some connection there.
Yeah.
Well, Melissa, I appreciate you jumping on today. Any final words on Locker Room or just the business in general that we want to kind of share to the audience?
No, just if you are not happy where you are, if you are not hitting the goals that you wanted to this year, ask for help. I think that's the biggest thing. Realize that you have a problem, not a problem, but realize that, hey, there's something I'm missing, right?
Yeah.
And find somebody that can help you find out where the hole is, so that we can get you to where you want to be, because you got into real estate for a reason. So don't quit, don't give up. Don't be one of the agents that fails comes out of the business within the first 2 years. Ask somebody for help. Ask to find where the holes are, so we can get you to the right direction.
Yeah, and I think that's key, because if you can find out where the pockets are that you need to be developed, and you've got to ask for support, because I see too many people just they're 90 days in and they quit. They think the grass is greener on the other side, and all of a sudden you see them 90 days later at the next one, and then it's like you call them up and ask what's going on. Like, nope, they said they had leads. Nope, they said they had leads.
Right.
It's not the leads; it's how you handle the opportunities that you're getting.
Right, and getting into it as a new agent, it can feel very lonely. I know that when I first got in, I felt very lonely, but it's finding the right support, like you said, asking for help, and figuring out what is it that you're missing, so that we can help you.
Yeah, and that's the key, and that's just pick up the phone. You got your broker, you got your mentor, you got come on this channel and ask for help, because I'm talking to people offline from here all the time that are saying, hey, we need this, and we're happy to have phone calls with you, and just because one 30-minute call can make a huge difference in someone's business.
Absolutely. Yes.
So, well, Melissa, I appreciate it, and we will see you on Monday.
Yes. Well, you'll see me later today in the group.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely.
All righty. Cool. Thank you so much for having me on.
All right. Thank you. Yeah, appreciate it. Have a good weekend, everybody.